Good morning, everybody, for the second time. So I don't know what happened, but we had no sound, and I really hope that this one's got sound. I've disconnected my microphone, and we'll see what happens. It should come through my computer. So, oh my gosh, I hope this works. So sorry, everybody. It's a whole other stream than the last stream, so I'll have to wipe that one off, and probably everyone's going to the first stream. Never mind. We will just do this anyway as it is. It's all meant to be, right? We just go with the flow, whatever happens. So if anyone doesn't know me, my name is Bobby Richardson. I am a channeler and a seer. So for the first 50 years of my life, I was a seer, where I still see things every now and then, but just not as much. Now I channel a lot more. And it's just the way that my spiritual journey has gone. So my mum was a seer as well, but she completely closed it off. And that means that I could see it into different dimensions, and I had a lot of visitations. So I had a lot of beings come and visited me. It's not that they were in my mind. I actually woke up and saw beings. Yeah. So yay, Cherie found it. And it's still going. And the sound's on. Yay. Hey, Arnie, good to see you. So sorry, guys. I don't know how good this will go with people trying to find me, because there's another link there that I've had to, trash. Anyways, let's get into this channeling. So I channel the CYANIANS, and as I was trying to say before, the CYANIANS are part of my team, and because I was a seer, that actually showed themselves quite a few times, many times in my dreams, but very, very vivid dreams. These aren't normal dreams. And then there's been a couple of times where they've showed up. Anyway, so they are very tall, slender beings, and they have like the universe within them. It's like the energy is roaming, like you could see the energy through them. And they can morph into spirit balls that are rainbow. That's what I saw, the rainbow spirit balls, probably any color, I don't know. They work with energy, and they work very close to oneness. They're multidimensional. They can go into all sorts of different dimensions because they have found the essence of themselves just as pure love, and they reside like they're kind of like oneness's messengers. And so they can see all these different perspectives of layers of what oneness's journey is going on. And that is going on through humanity as well as every other animal, every other living thing. Any case, that's who I channel mainly. And the Pleiadians come through as well. Hey, Jules. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, JP. Good to see you guys. Also, I wanted to bring up, I am so delighted to tell you guys that I have started another video. Now, this video is a very special video. This video will help you. It is a message straight from the Pleiadians, and it is to reboot or start up contact with them. So I'm really excited about this video, and it's just beautiful, and the channel messages that come through from them to get you in line with their energy is just gorgeous. So I'm really excited to bring that one to you, and probably be ready maybe at the end of this week, maybe next week. Yay. This is Jill. I am so excited about it. It's just beautiful. So it is a meditation, by the way, guys, but it starts off with messages, and very visual, very feeling, very, beautiful music. And then it goes into meditation so that you can get the messages you need from them as well. So it gives you an opportunity to, while you're in that vibe, to be able to click in with them. So I love how they've laid it all out with me. We've been discussing this. It's kind of like this discussion going on in my head with the Pleiadians of how to do this, to bring it through for those that are ready. Yeah. And what else have I got? Another beautiful message straight from source energy, through the CYANIANS, and that's going to come up soon. That was a really profound message. I just had to get this one out. and I've finished that one, so that's going to be published probably on Thursday. Yeah. What else have I got? I think that's about it this week for housekeeping, other than I am a intuitive reader, an intuitive counselor, and I can do group sessions. I probably wouldn't want to do any more than 8 people, but I can do up to 8 people in a group. If you get a group together, it's a lot cheaper, obviously. All of my what I charge is all in Australian dollars. So if you're over in America, it's a lot cheaper too, and that sort of thing. I try to keep the price in a place where everyone can have an opportunity. Let's see what's going to come through though for this week. Okay, now I'm starting to feel them coming through. If anyone doesn't know also how I channel, there's a link down below on how I channel. So it might just seem like I'm just having a normal conversation for those who haven't seen me, but it's actually them. It's like I have a conversation that goes on in my head, and they come through as a strong feeling, and I can read it. Well, it's easy for me, especially since I had visitations from them, and so I know their energy. Okay, December. Let's talk about December, they said. Let's talk about December. So December is all about learning to live a stress-free life, even though your outside reality is in stress, or could be perceived as in stress, or there could be a lot of turmoil going on around you, or there could be some shifts that you're wanting to make and you're not sure how to do it, or there's some sort of discombobulated feeling of what the outside world is, but then they're wanting us to take the reins into feeling stressless, because once we gain a master of this, once we master this, we can ride through more storm and not be affected. So there's an opportunity now in December to put yourself to practice on how much you've learnt in the past, the shadow work and letting things go as quickly as possible, allowing yourself to flow through the emotions if they come up. Don't hold on to things. Allow things to come and go, like feelings, emotions, things that happen outside of you. Just let them come and go as much as you possibly can. And also December is about finding your unique self. So finding out who you are from the value of just you and how you feel about you, and not how other people see you, nothing to do with anyone on the outside world. Just bring it back to yourself and how you feel about you, and acknowledging that and loving that and trusting that. And trusting that if you feel there's any blockages that are coming up for you, that you're going to, trusting that when you send it out to the universe, that something will come back to you to give you a heads up on how to clear it. And this unique self that you're coming into is like the stabilized, they'll show me like a stable, stable, not a horse stable or anything like that, like a foundation. That's what I'm trying to say. Foundation of a house. So a foundation of your life. This is who you are. And there is no more programming trying to dictate who you are. And so because of that, you are one of the ones to step forward and make a shift in your reality, which makes a shift in the world. Because we can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, still living the programmed life of what everyone expects of us and all that sort of thing, and expecting a different result. We have to let go of those things that we're fixated on, that we thought were keeping us safe, which is probably only keeping us in a very limited concept of who we are. And when we start to step out of that and go, I am unique, I am different, I love who I am and my differences even more so, then we then start to allow those that are giving us a negative Nelly story about, you shouldn't, or why are you doing that, or rolling their eyes, just saying, no, not accepting that, because I know who I am and I love who I am and I'm a beautiful being. And even though I am different than the world, I've come here for purpose to be different. I've come here to shine my light and be different. Somebody who's going to show a whole different path. And that means that you're not going to understand. Other people won't understand you completely, but keep bringing it back to that. Yeah, this month especially is all to do with almost like hermetizing yourself if necessary, bringing yourself back into pull yourself back into your own energy, because an expansion can come from that. And if we come back to ourselves and know that at any given moment in the years to come, that we can always come back to self-love. They're showing me the vortex, the Taurus vortex of source energy itself, and in the central point is just a light. And there's a video I'm going to pull up on Thursday that's got a lot to do with this energy. But the message that they're bringing through now with the energy of the light going out on a journey, many trillions and godzillions, godzillions, that's a good name, of life forms and streams coming out from that love, which is source energy going on this journey through you. But they're saying that you have that within you, and at the central point is your heart. So here's your heart, which is love, and that's the base of all. And that's why they always say the heart is love, because there is a point within you that can come back to source energy and completely match source energy's vibe through coming back to your inner self, your love of who you are, and acceptance of everything outside and inside. But we have to start with the change from the inside before we can start to see the outside. So to do that, then we have to acknowledge that the outside might not match what we are wanting to shift for a wee while, especially if we do find little blockages. Then as they come up, we're still going to work through those, obviously, as well. And the blockages will be like, I feel tension, I feel anxiety, I feel fear, I feel guilt, I feel jealousy. All of those sort of things are tension within your heart of saying that then we have to ask ourselves, why? Why do I feel that way? And come back into that. So December is all about us and our uniqueness and our self-love and coming back to central point of who we are. Yay. And there's a purpose for this, I'm saying. We're always going in and out. We're going, learning to accept the outside world, ask for the outside world to show up, coming back to self, clearing more issues, going back to looking at the outside world, or, it's always going to be this way. But they're showing it getting quicker and quicker and quicker until the point where you have free will to explore either or at any given moment and not be dictated by anything outside of you. So you are the solid essence of love walking this journey, and everything around you will reflect that. So everything that you come into, they're bringing me to, I don't know her name, Alma or something. There's a lady that everyone who went to her, she hugged, and they felt this release. They felt the love from her. Alma or something. I don't know her at all. I've never met her. But I know of her in my logical brain. I don't know her name. Not very good with names. but for some reason Alma or something like that's coming up. Anyway, she would go around the world and people would, come and see her and want to see her because her energy was pure love. It was just acceptance of all. She had found the essence of that within her, and they're saying that they're showing me the world, and then people lighting up to be like her, like people lighting up themselves and being her, and understanding that all of this world comes from how we feel about who we are in this journey, going on this journey. And the more that we love this, the more we love the journey, the more we love the journey, the more the journey loves us, the more journey loves us, the more we see the better things in our life. And it's the cycle, but something has to break it. So it has to be that, and I am saying has to be in a way. I don't like saying has to be, but it has to be coming from your observational point of who you are in this world, because it comes from the inner out, because within us is source energy going on this journey. So interesting that, usually they take me to the mind, and as if anyone's watched me before, the left and the right hemisphere, but now they're bringing me into the heart and the value of who we truly are, the essence of ourselves, source energy, coming back to that. So that means we're letting go of the mind enough to feel the heart, or feel into who we are as just love. And love is acceptance. Love is acceptance. And you could say, but I don't want to accept that horrible thing that's happening outside of me over there. But if you come back to love of self, then either that horrible thing will fall away, and if they don't have the attention or the focus going on that horrible thing, then there is no point of it existing. They're showing me Peter Pan now. Oh my gosh, where are we going? Okay, Peter Pan, and there's there was the intention, something to do with the intention that they had in that movie. I lost it, sorry. I shouldn't have questioned. Sorry, guys. But it was something to do with coming back into the essence of who we are. We're the ones that believe it first, and then it comes out from there. This is the one problem when you're channeling. If you bring your logical mind in, it just stops it. Okay. Let's bring this back to central point. If anyone wants to know what I'm looking at too, I tend to focus on my crystals. So I have this whole jar of crystals over here. So at the moment, I'm focusing in on this thing here, just to let you know, because, I'm sure people see me looking sideways over there, and I constantly do that when I channel, and it's like this energy comes through. Anyway, the shadow, Peter Pan. Yeah, no, it was to do with the little fairy that was there. Okay, I believe they're bringing it back up again. I believe in fairies. Okay, so the more that you focused in on something, the more that belief becomes true. So the way that we dismantle things that we don't like to see over there is to say, to not give it the focus that's necessary, unless you have an obligation in your life to bring it up with no resistance whatsoever for others to see a path. Then you can show it to, say to others, do you realize what you're doing there? This is what's happening. So you can bring up like every now and then they tell me to put something on Facebook that seems a little bit on the negative Nelly side, but then it's kind of like awakening those that are still in that deeper, darker place. And, you know, there's stepping stones towards this understanding of ourselves as just pure love. There's stepping stones towards that. So there's sometimes where those that see that will have to address what's been brought up if they see it on Facebook and so forth. So, yeah, I'm just saying that focus is absolutely the most important thing. But if you got to a point where you just saw everything as story and acceptance, you would be feeding it no intention. You would be feeding it no force. You'd just be like, it's a story, it's a nothing. Okay, my guides have told me to post this or whatever, for whatever reason. And usually someone in the chat bar will have some sort of query, some sort of niggle, some sort of judgment, some sort of something. And then they'll just go, okay, we'll bring it back to no judgment, and then look at it, that sort of thing. Anyway, so I want to bring it back to this heart center, because there was some really beautiful messages coming through from them from that. Sorry. So, yeah, so it was more to do with the heart and our focus walking this earth, and what we believe in is the program that we are creating. So when we say, I believe in fairies, I believe in fairies, we're giving that intention more. This is why they used this is why the ones that wanted to keep us in a limited story created a craziness around the fact that fairies exist or energy exists between Gaia and humanity. They wanted to shut it down because that was created so that we could converse with the plant life, with Mother Earth, and we could find we didn't need them. So there's a lot of these elementals, which are energy that's come from Gaia, Mother Earth, plant life, like it's separated itself and become its own entity, and they do their own playful things. And the reason why they become mischievous is because their whole purpose was to get humanity's attention, to be able to focus in on communicating with Gaia and plant life again. And they couldn't do that because this limited program, which was telling us we're all crazy to think like that, was keeping us held in hostage, and they had no purpose anymore. So they started to play games and that sort of thing. So now they're bringing me to the fact that if we come into what we're focusing on, what we actually believe to become, will become, and if we see something that's not feeling good over there, the less energy we give it. Let's put it that way. The less energy we give it means that it has no resistance, and that means it has nothing to fight against, which gives it less power. Because when you are resisting something, you are forcing, and then you have energy that comes from behind that. So when you don't give it the energy, it starts to fall away, and the resistance dies, and then they fall flat on their face, and they have to look at themselves as to why they needed to control everything. Why? Because they couldn't control their own self, and they couldn't find the love within themselves to move through life, so that they felt that their outside reality was the only thing that they could control. They couldn't control their inner reality. Hui. Never take a fairy shopping with you. Oh, well, if you that's funny, Maggie. So the elementals, when you start to communicate with them from this intention of acceptance and love for them, then they will come back into their power, and their true purpose will become again. There are actual elementals there that hold hold wisdom into portals that are on Earth, hold wisdom into where the energy collapses in on itself. I was going to say a grid line, but they're telling me collapses in on itself to bring you into their world and also and into other worlds. And so there's then a whole other playground, a whole other perspective that you can go on in that journey to move through their world. I love that fairies have come up. They told me that fairies never going to come up, and I was like, how's that? You know, I thought it was going to be all on something else. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll just keep going with this. So yeah, the elementals, each of them have purpose because each of them were born out of purpose for humanity to collectively communicate with more than just each other. So we have limited ourselves into only communicating with each other. And we have no communication with animals because they're telepathic and go through feeling. We don't have, I mean, unless you've obviously cleared that within yourself and you have that gift that's coming up. But the majority I'm talking of here, no communication with plant life, no communication with Gaia, no communication with benevolent beings. The only ones that we communicate with is each other, and each other has a very limited concept of themselves because we've closed ourselves in. It's very interesting what they're saying. It's like this, we're just very limited. And yet there's so much more to expand into, and so many more journeys that we can take, and so much more excitement that we can come into. Yeah. So when we start to accept their world as part of our world, because it is. So the way that they show me is like, say there's a tree that wanted to go on a journey, and the tree had the blossoms, had the, leaves falling off, had the, the branches growing and the tree roots growing into the ground. And then there'll be a part of that tree's essence that just, it's really interesting because the elder that I met said that my name was Lana Wan Nanahi, and Nanahi meant fairy. And she come and sat next to me after everyone was congratulating me that I was part of the fairy clan, which is part of the Pleiadian agenda of creating. Anyway, she sat next to me and said, you are creator of fairies. You are creator. And it's interesting, what I know of that is that there's an essence of Gaia herself that comes through plant life that wanted to communicate with humans. And so it pulled itself off, become its own energy, its own identity. And that became, say, for instance, from an oak tree became a dryad fairy, and so forth. So each one has a plant or animal or something that they collectively move with, or an element like the fire or so forth. But it's also its own existence in itself, how it understands the world, and it holds vibrational keys of how to move through things that humanity wouldn't normally move through. Well, in their balanced mind, they would be able to move through, but they don't, because of this limited program pulled over us. There's just so much more to go into. No, I like that, Maggie. Yeah, sometimes they do pull you into a shop and then ask you to get a certain crystal or a certain, or even take you into the plants or so forth, tell you where to plant things, guide you to water as well. And there is, gosh, they're showing me places on Earth where they could guide humanity that holds magic in them waters. They're saying magic in them waters. It's so interesting when I tap into them. Yeah, and that magic in them waters is it will ignite humanity. So that it's like a chalice of understanding. Yeah, they're showing me an X. And they're bringing me to the fact that source energy starts from the central part and then goes out and then comes back. So it's an exit, turns into the figure of 8. And they're showing me that vortex around humanity. That's something like that is coming up in this next message as well. But this is why it's so important. When you feel like there's too much around you, when you feel like December or January or whatever is getting too much to come back to self, that's why it's so important. If you can find a place in your home that you can just make your space, your little space, if you can't do that, just corner, just a place where, if you see that object or look at that object, then that's going to bring you back to central point, just to help you gain balance within yourself until you can do it within you without anything outside of you. Yeah. Oh, quite a few messages coming through, and I feel like they're going all over the place. So funny, because I made myself a cup of coffee and I went, oh, I'm channeling, I can't have coffee. So I only had 2 sips and then poured myself some water. I'm very, yeah, I can feel it still. Yes. Also, I wanted to show you something. I made this necklace. So I wanted to show you this. See, it's got a little UFO in a little jar. I made the little UFO out of glow-in-the-dark plasticine, so it glows in the dark. I wanted to show you that anyway. I haven't worn it for ages. I'm like, can't really see it because my screen's a bit, yeah, doesn't matter. But yeah, just to throw that in there. Okay, let's get back to channeling, Bobby. Center myself. What other messages want to come through to help the collective that's watching this to understand more about themselves and their journey, where they're going, how to use the energies that are coming in at the moment? Oh, I'm feeling a well of excitement coming from other world beings. I'm feeling a well of excitement coming. That is so close. It's so close. It's so close, they're saying. They're waiting for a certain alignment with certain people, with certain time frames, to have something happen where we do not need to worry about survival mode anymore. And with that understanding of self comes more expansion and their contact. And it's so exciting. They're like like a little kid that's knowing that Christmas is coming and it's definitely happening. That's what they feel like. It's like it's no returns, no backsies anymore, guys. We're going for it. We're going to make contact in the end. It'll be with specific people to begin with, those that have already had telepathic communication, or those that are already set up in positions to help the bigger picture. So because they are overseeing this as those that are coming from higher dimensions are overseeing this as a collective, as a wholeness, to bring through as many people as possible. And it's not to do with the individual that's first picked or anything like that. It's like a soul alignment with those souls that are already decided to be in that position before they were born even. And that puts them in a position to help others understand their own uniqueness within themselves and their journey of their soul. History of the soul is coming up as well. So it's an important thing to at least allow our feeling of our history of our soul to come through. So if you don't know your soul's history, maybe go take a be hypnotized into it for a bit. Don't take that as just face value, though. Allow it to be an open book, even if you are hypnotized, because the mind can still come in every now and then through. I know that if hypnotherapy is done in a correct manner, yes, but there's not, not everybody can be hypnotized, and not everybody is good at hypnotizing as good as what they need to be able to understand the fullness or the full scope of the soul's journey. So please be open with all of that. Allow change to happen as you start to grow and develop and unblock certain blockages. You'll feel a wash of feelings coming over you, and the wash of feelings is the thing that's taking you through to your soul's lineage and your soul's history. And that's more important than what the mind story brings up. It's the feelings we want to get to the basis of that, because then we have a better understanding and a fullness of understanding through those feelings of who we are, what our soul lineage is. And when that soul lineage comes through, it's funny they're doing that. When it's coming through, it'll end up sparking a better understanding of who you are and the uniqueness of you. And also it goes beyond Earth, and it goes into other lives, and it goes beyond. So goes beyond being a human. And then you'll go, oh, now I know why as a human I look like this, or because a lot of because the soul creating the body will also have fractions of many past lives. So if you've come straight from a place where you say you were in the elemental world and you were a dwarf, or you were that sort of like energy, and then you were close to grounded into this world, but also held the magic of this world as well. And so your features might seem that, or a fairy, and features might seem that, and there's no wrong and right, there's no better, there's no prettier, there's no uglier, there's no nothing. It's in the eyes of source energy, it is a beautiful journey that you have gone on, and so you become that. So we do hold within our bodies sometimes the looks or something of past lives, whether that be off-being worlds, or whether we've come from the energy of animals. Even animals, sometimes we dip and dive, our soul dips and dive from human to animal as well, to experience something different. And then when we come from the animal, we might have bird-like features or lion-like features or so forth. And there's also energies that are off-world beings that have those as well. So now they're bringing me up to the Lyrians and that sort of thing. The Lyrians have actually, in their truer form, they were more, they do show me the cat-like being, but they have split themselves into many fractions of going to different worlds, many different worlds, and those worlds to be able to strengthen their bodies. And so they did a lot of manipulation with beings that were on those worlds to be able to create different selves. So Lyrians you could see as all different humanoid bodies. Anyway, that aside, wow. Jason, I'm excited about this contact. Hi, guys. Hi, Jason. Yes. And please be patient with it as well. Don't go, oh, yay, she said that. That means tomorrow. That means next year. I mean, this is in our lifetime with so many of us. Absolutely. but also in the generations to come. So it could be your grandchild. You could be setting it up for your grandchild as well. You could be setting it up where you become more telepathic and communicate with them, and then your grandchild ends up just having that contact, but it's a progress towards where it's meant to be going. So don't get too disheartened, but there are definitely some that are coming, and they're showing me 2026 is the big year for 2024 to 2026, 2020, 30. Those years, those that are already set up and their soul is knowing that it's going to happen will more than likely have some sort of contact that is beyond what their normal life is, and a journey, but they won't be, it won't, it'll be only for those that can handle grounding that on earth, not wanting to leave. See, because we didn't come here as a soul to take off and leave this planet. We came here to shift it, to change it, to become our unique self, to ground it here on earth. And there's much work to be done. So it's not like we're going to contact you. Oh, look, we're going off on a beautiful journey. And they could take you off on a beautiful journey off this world, but not necessary. If you are someone that wants to leave, you probably won't be chosen because they want people to stay here and ground their energy, bring the wisdom through, teach others, be in a position to do that sort of stuff. That is of great importance, because that's what's going to shift this reality, and it's the whole purpose of why your soul came here to begin with, to be able to expand our reality, to bring in newness, to show others that can be a possibility here on earth, that we don't have to listen to somebody over there that's trying to control us anymore, that we have free will and free spark to adventure somewhere else or not. But those that have that storyline in their soul will feel already abundant within themselves before they come in, because they have to match the same energy of what's coming into them. So they have to feel it. It doesn't matter if the outside world isn't reflecting it as much. Abundance comes in many forms. They say abundance comes in freedom, to know that you can have what you need in the given time that you want it. So yeah. Oh, nice, Maggie. Your grandchild's due in May. Good, that's so nice. Hi, Lindy. Good to see you. See if there's anything else coming through. Okay, so many stories in the history is also going to shift. They're bringing up angels now for some reason. Well, we're touching every subject this time. And they're showing me that we're going to see angels in a different light. It's the off-world beings, that energy that's come to oversee humanity, and energy coming off them probably look like wings, or they felt, or no, they're saying no. They're saying it was more to do with, yes, there was energy on some beings. Sorry, I'm getting two conflicting things happening. But it was more to do with they hovered over people, or hovered in the sky, because they were energy when they came through. Then it's kind of like the 2D world. If you haven't seen it, there's 2D flat world, and when the 3D comes into a 2D flat world, it shows up as like a big blob coming in. And they're showing me that for the example of our 3D world, and something coming from the 5th dimension, or moving through time in the 4th dimension to come here, and then it's coming up, it's showing itself in a different form than what we're used to, in the solid, grounded format or story. And so they might come through as that floating deity instead. And then history, when we go to look at our books in the history, when we actually have an adventure through these with these beings and a better understanding of who they are and where they come from and what they actually are here for, then we could go back into, say, for instance, the Bible or something like that, stories that have been told that have kept us, some of them have kept us limited, some of them are the stories are there to be seen, but we're not seeing them because of our limitation. They're showing me that they will all change, because then we'll start seeing them outside of the limited box of our minds of what we've been told is the only truth. And so we start to see things like angels and the chalice. For some reason, they keep bringing that up. It's different. It's not the same story as like it is been told to us. Is a better, fuller understanding of these energies that are here to help, guide, become you. And so be it, they say. So be it. Yeah. So yeah, it's just the expansion of who you are starts to shift into a different, everything changes when you start to see yourself from a soul's point of view and the understanding of that journey as well. I mean, you have your history, your DNA history, your relatives and all of that. And there's nothing, everything is godlike. They keep saying everything is equal. It's just journey. It's only in humanity's mind that there is this really squiff program poured over us where something is better than another. And then we start to compromise ourselves, and we start to look at things and judge them, and we start to look at things and get jealous, and all that sort of weirdness comes into it, which is pulling us away from our unique self. So there's an expansion of awareness through this love of self and understanding more that actually elevates you into a whole different story. Yeah, it's cool. Is there any questions too? If anyone has any questions, you're most welcome to ask in the chat bar, obviously relevant to what's going on. If not, see what else comes through for this next. For some reason, it's just sort of fading a bit. So I might have to leave it there and yeah. Sorry. It just sort of slowly disappeared. Please remember, though, that December is all about you finding your uniqueness and whatever that looks like for you. Take that as you will, like, yeah, and remember that the outside world isn't anything to do with who you are at the essence of yourself. You come here to shift the outside world by remembering who you are. Ariel, any contact with Ariel? No. Ariel is an angel. I'm only guessing that. I'm actually not sure. They're telling me it's an angel. I actually don't know. Yeah, they're saying Archangel Ariel. Is that true, Maggie? I'm not sure. Anyway, okay, for some reason I'm showing the sky and the blue sky, air element. Okay, cool. I'm on the right track. Yeah, air element for some reason. And I just not kind of getting the message though. It's a really weird message. It's like they are everywhere, and yet they are everywhere in the sky. Look at the blue sky, and they are there. They are everywhere, and it's I don't quite understand it myself, but I think that they're wanting you to look at the sky and then tap into them, and then they're showing me it to coming like a light coming into you, and then more information coming through you. So maybe the message is for you to look at the sky and feel the vastness of, or the expansion of wisdom that is within that sky. That it goes beyond, 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 and yet it is. It's kind of like it's interesting because beyond the sky is blackness, but then they're saying, is it? It's so cool. It's so different. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Everybody, I hope that you enjoyed this beautiful channeling, and please don't forget, I do personal Zoom readings as well as group readings and couple readings, and finding out your mission readings and all that sort of stuff. So go to the link below, and don't forget, I've got a beautiful video coming out. I can't wait to share that one with you. It is so gorgeous. So until next time, guys, adios from me. Bye.